Ultimately, the entire riot itself somehow got blamed on Dr. Leroy Bundy because he was having meetings at his home.
They wanted to decapitate, so to speak, the black leadership, throw them in jail or disgrace them.
The African Americans who were charged were brought to trial based upon very weak, very questionable evidence. It involved a man by the name of Ed Wilson, African American, who indicated that he heard a church bell ring and then gunfire, and he left his home. And when he arrived at 15th and Pickett, there were a group of African Americans there, and also there was a gentleman by the name of Dr. Leroy Bundy. And he heard someone say in there that they had shot into a car. He eventually concocted the story with names of individuals that had been present. So those 11 individuals, which included Dr. Bundy, were charged with the murder of 2 white police officers. Now, these individuals, many of them were pillars of the African American community, and eventually all of them were convicted. And all went to the penitentiary except for Dr. Bundy, who fled. He eventually was extradited back to Illinois. He was convicted and sentenced to the penitentiary. But later on, the case went to the Supreme Court, and the Illinois Supreme Court reversed the conviction. And the reason that they reversed the conviction was Dr. Bundy brought forth a number of white witnesses who gave him an alibi. And now the Supreme Court went a long way to give complete credence to the blacks who had tried to give him an alibi at the trial, but said, well, the whites should have been taken into consideration, their testimony, as being totally credible. And so they reversed the conviction of Dr. Bundy, but they did not reverse the conviction of the other 10 who were convicted based on the same testimony by Ed Wilson.
Justice can be meted out to the guilty, and protection for the innocent can come only through a federal grand jury impaneled by a judge who knows his duty and dares to do it.
It was sketchy evidence that was the basis of the black convictions, but the whites who were convicted, there was clear evidence that they had been involved. 6 individuals that went to trial. Only 2 were actually convicted of killing an African American. And there were 2 brought to trial for murder involving a situation where a mother had to watch her son kill and her husband kill, and yet the bullet that killed her son went through her son and killed a white spectator. And she had to testify in the trial where these individuals who perpetrated this were charged with killing the white spectator. And they were not brought to trial for killing her son and her husband and almost killing her.